Hello, hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please do subscribe down below. My name is Adiola and I upload videos about Africa, the black community and growing as a whole. So if you're interested in videos on those topics, please do subscribe down below and join our community. So this video, I'm shaking the table, I'm rattling some feathers today. I know it, I can feel it, but this video I felt like it's something I need to touch on because I've been seeing a lot of rubbish and nonsense. So just a little backstory, a little context for some of you to know what I'm talking about. Today's topic, I'm going to be talking about Nigerian men. Yes, I can hear them already. I can hear them abusing me. It's okay. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be talking about Nigerian men and the Nigerian society as a whole and how it doesn't hold men accountable basically and just lets them do whatever they want to women. I've been in clubhouse rooms. If you guys don't know what clubhouse is clubhouse is a social media app basically where people can communicate with each other in rooms. Like, you don't see a person's face, you just hear their voice, and that you can see their like Instagram, Twitter, things like that to see if they are real and things like that. But something I've realized being on the app is that I can't believe some of these people actually think the way they do. So I've been in a couple of rooms where Nigerian men basically say that they are the global standard for men, like they are the most wanted men out there and that they treat their women well and things like this, which I have a problem with because generally speaking this is not true, and I'm not here to like bash these men. There are tons of good Nigerian men out there, believe me when I say this. You know, we are, I think, the 8th largest country in the world population wise, so of course not every man is going to be the same, but there are institutional and structural policies in Nigeria that still hinder women to this day. So I'm just gonna dive into this topic and yeah, let's get into it. So a running theme in these rooms that I've been in is that Nigerian men tend to say that they often protect and provide for their women. They say things like they uphold their culture a lot of the time. They say things like they take care of their women. They say that they spoil their women, they buy them gifts, they buy this, they that, they brag about their women just to make sure that everything is comfortable for women basically, and that they are the perfect gentlemen. You know, because they love their mums, they take care of their wives the same, blah blah blah. So statistically this ain't true. Okay, so I'm gonna dive in and dissect each bit. First of all, I want to talk about the protection part. Say that women in Nigeria are protected, but when you look at statistically, Nigerian women face sexual harassment, sexual exploitation and sexual abuse, trigger warning I should say, on a daily basis, you know, on a daily basis and from a early age. The UN has taken studies that show over 30% of women between the ages of 15 to 49 have experienced some sort of sexual abuse in their lifetime, and it shows that over 60% of these people as well, a lot of them receive this sexual abuse at an early age, between the ages of 6 to 11. So as you can imagine, there is no protection there, really, is there? We also have a huge problem, a huge epidemic with men exploiting their power. So whether that be in the workplace, in universities, we had this whole uprising of this sex for grades, where it was revealed that a lot of female students are pressured to have sex with their teachers in order to pass their exams. And that kind of power dynamic happens all around. You look at the wage gap in Nigeria. The wage gap is huge. It's exponential. Men's earning potential is a lot higher than women's. Women are capped. Women aren't even seen. We're seen there, like it's almost like they see us as like workhorses or mules. So we're seen and acknowledged that we work hard, but we're not paid, or we're not treated the same as men and valued the same as men. You even had our president now, joke of a guy, but the president, he's even made sexual remarks about his own wife, saying that she only belongs in the kitchen and the bedroom and her opinions are irrelevant. So really and truly, how can you say they are protected when all of this is going on? And touching on the topic of protection, in Nigeria we still have laws that enable women to basically be beaten by their husbands as a form of punishment. We have that, and we also have laws which don't protect young girls from being married off. They don't protect young girls from being married off in like traditional senses, you know, especially in the north where more cultural law is taken into place instead of actual legislative law. It's a huge epidemic. It's a huge problem. We have the whole situation with the Bring Back Our Girls. The Bring Back Our Girls campaign only blew up the way it did because of the social ramifications. You know, the government had international eyes on it and had to be seen as taking action, and they had to call in armies such as the British Army to help them. Why does the British Army need to help you overrun a small Islamic group? You have to ask yourself these questions, and you have to understand it's because the government don't care. They don't care about what's going on, really and truly, and they don't care about young girls' lives. We look at the cases of domestic violence during the pandemic as well. The cases of domestic violence increased dramatically in the country. Some states receiving nearly 300% more complaints and files about domestic violence. And these situations in Nigeria especially, they are treated more as a civil or domestic dispute rather than a criminal prosecution. So a lot of the times these cases don't even go to court and they don't get tried. So where is the protection for women, really and truly? Talk less of this, if we move to women in communities such as the LGBTQ community, being gay in Nigeria, well, not being gay, but practicing homosexuality, i.e. sleeping with someone of the same sex, is still illegal, and is still a colonial law that we have in Nigeria, but it's still illegal and you can still get prosecuted for this. So we don't even consider the level of hate crime that happens to women in LGBTQ communities. And there's something called I forgot the name of it, but basically is where they try and use rape and forcing the person to be, and forcing a woman to sleep with a man, or a man forcing himself upon a woman to try and correct them being gay. So you have a man rape a woman to try and correct her from being, from liking women. How does that work? Does that not cause more trauma? And does that not make her hate and resent women, men more? You know, it's stupidity. But we have these things and they go undetected because there is no protection in place. We talk about safe houses. The women who experience domestic violence, they have to go back to these houses that they experience the domestic violence. There are very few safe houses, especially if we're talking about cities, non-big cities. If you're not in like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, these big cities, there are no safe houses for you. You have to go back to the place where you were beaten, where you were raped, where you were tortured. So really and truly, there is no protection for women. It's the fact that it's so ingrained in culture, like for a man to touch a woman's butt and things like that, and nothing Nothing is said. No one speaks up. No other man says this is wrong. In fact, they will laugh and say, hey, what happened to you? What is that? It's nothing. Like, they play it off because there's this whole rape culture that goes on, and when a woman does speak out, it's what were you wearing, what were you doing, and it's a whole victim blaming mentality. And then talk less of the big FGM is a huge problem in Nigeria, and it still happens nationwide across the country. So if there really is protection for women, like these men were claiming, why are these things still happening? Surely men should be campaigning, surely men should be educating people to stop this barbaric practice, but it's not happening. You know, Nigeria has the highest rates of FGM, female genital mutilation, happening in the southern parts of Africa. So it's not something that is not happening. So another thing they like to talk about is the provision. They say that Nigerian men provide, they spend on their women, they do this, they do that. Again, if we look at the statistics, we look at agricultural sectors, for example, over 80% of the agricultural sector in Nigeria is by women. So like farming, things like that, that's done by women. So what are the men providing? If we then look at, for example, marketplaces and things like that, they are mainly run by women. Stores that sell food and things like that, hair shops, this, that, run by women. Run by women. Literally, the country is being run by women who are oppressed by men. You know, there are many more things that I could touch on in terms of the provision element, but we see time and time again that women are actually the workhorses and the ones driving the country forward, but aren't receiving the same level of respect, dignity and pay as men still to this day, and they are being sexually harassed, sexually coerced, things like that in the workplace. And it's just a shame to hear that a lot of men live in this like this bubble of, oh, I don't experience it, the women around me don't experience it, so it doesn't exist kind of mentality. And I hear it a lot from men, and it just shows their lack of education or lack of apathy for what's actually going on in the world. So I just wanted to throw some things out there. I will link some information for those who want to read up on some of the stats I provided, or some of just some more information about the different things women go through, and basically how you as men, especially, I hope it's some men watching this, but how you as men can actually drive forward some change and be active allies when it comes to gender-based violence, FGM, the gender wage pay gap, the rape and sexual harassment culture we have, things like that, how you can actually implement change and how you can help stand up against these kind of practices for women. Because a lot of the time, a lot of these men have children and they have daughters, but it's like they just expect them to get on with it. They don't want to change the culture. They just say they're gonna guard and protect their daughter. Why do you need to guard and protect your daughter if our society isn't fucked up? You know, why not try and change the culture that we have in our society, rather than guarding your daughter, being hyper what's it called, protective. And another thing with this whole protection, a lot of it comes down to ownership and having a sense of entitlement. So if you look back on Nigerian laws and just Nigerian policies and cultural practices after colonial era, you can see that a lot of cultural practices such as dowry and things like that, you're basically giving your daughter away like she's property. So it's very problematic in the sense, because it leads a lot of people to think that I own this woman, I've paid for her, or I have sacrificed for her, so now she is mine and she must abide by everything I say, and it's highly problematic. So I'm hoping that men help watch this video to understand how they can change their mindsets, but also they can help be the change that we need to see as women, because a lot of the time we as women, when we say these things, men don't want to listen. They would rather call us angry, upset, or just they downplay basically our experiences. But when another man says it, it can have a different effect. Just like with race, when a black person says something, non-black people are less likely to listen, because they want to say, oh, she's an angry black woman. They're just annoyed. They want to play this whole white guilt situation. Whereas when a white person says, no, this is a systemic problem we are having, to other white people, they are more likely to listen. And it's shit, it's fucked up, but it's what happens time and time again. The oppressed can't be the only people speaking out. If you are quote unquote a good man and you are an ally to women, you need to be speaking out as well, especially in the rooms that we are not in and we don't have a voice there. You need to be our voice in those rooms. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.